Oh, hey, it's Sunny. How are you doing today? So, did you miss me? I know I was gone last week. That's actually because I was on vacation. I went to go visit my best friend. She lives in LA now. She's been there for about 2 years, and I just really missed her, and I wanted to go. So I did, because it was fine. I was gonna do this, clickbaity thing where it was like, I'm gonna take this YouTubing seriously. I'm moving to LA. But then I just mainly hung out and didn't film a lot or any at all. I think I took 30 pictures while I was there because mainly it was just chilling, reconnecting with my bestie, and yeah. In today's podcast, episode 31 of Sunny's Geeky Grove, I am actually going to be talking about season 2B of the Hulu original Light as a Feather. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's kind of a mess, kind of amazing, kind of right up my alley. It's one of those supernatural shows that aren't really horror. There's not many jump scares or anything like that. It's more of the suspense and the psychological aspect of it, and it does have body horror elements as well. Some ghosties and demon-y type thing, I suppose, but not really a demon. But yeah, so if you haven't seen it, I'm going to be spoiling the end of season 2. So click away. Stop. Just stop whatever you're doing. Quit listening. Why would you do this? Why do you want to get spoilers so badly? Oh my god, you're crazy. You wild, fam. I'll never say that again. Before we jump in, click subscribe if you're new here, or if you haven't done it yet, if you've been waffling. I don't know why. Waffles are delicious, but let's get real. Click subscribe. Ring the bell if you want to get notified. And let's just let's do this shit. So, Light as a Feather season 2 came out in July, the first half, so 2A. And it consisted of 8 episodes. I have a video. I will put a card right here in the corner if you want to watch that. That covers season 1 and 2A. And now this is season 2B. I did actually just finish it only a few hours ago. It came out on October 4th, 2019. The last 8 episodes of season 2. And I watched 4 episodes one day, 4 episodes today. And I'm done. I'm caught up. But your girl has some questions. Before we get into the loose ends, let's kind of recap what happened in season 2A. Probably don't need to recap season 1. Because that'll take care of itself. Basically, they've played a game called Light as a Feather. And you get a death prediction. So in season 2, we start out with one of our main characters reading the death predictions for the rest of the group. And we are very confused why McKenna is doing that. Why is she reading Emery's death prediction? So that's crazy. Wow, so crazy. And then that's a flash forward, if you will, or then we go into the flashback into the past, and we learn that, the chrysalis is still on McKenna's back, and that they're still going to die, that the curse hasn't been lifted, maybe, whatever. And then we end part 2A back at the beginning of part 2A. So the first and last scene of this season, half, if you will, are basically the same. It's just a little bit more. And we finally have understood why. Why are they in this place? Why is McKenna reading Emery? And what is going on? So we get that, and that's where it cliffhangs. She does the reading, and we basically figure out, okay, is this going to work? Is this going to be enough? And Spoiler alert, because if you're still here and you haven't watched it and you like spoilers, you're wild, man. But it doesn't. The chrysalis is still there. It doesn't break the curse. It doesn't do anything. And our new character that was introduced, Perry, is still acting like a shady bish. So, what is going on? We go through the season. We learn more about Perry. We learn more about how Perry came to get some information, why she's there. I'm not going to spoil any major plot details as far as some of the stuff that happens in season 2. My questions at the end that it leaves me with, some of those will be pretty much major spoilers. So, I mean, you're still listening and you don't care, or you've seen it. But it is so good and so bad and just so wonderful. It's something that is easy to consume, easy to binge watch. It's not very confusing. It's a Hulu original, so just like Netflix, it has that year gap working against it, where you really do need to binge season 1 again to understand season 2, or watch like recap videos, which is fine. The recap it gave you at the start of 2B was sufficient enough, and it wasn't too long of a gap between part A and part B, so that was fine. But it definitely needed to have a little bit longer of a recap, because while I was super hyped about it, I could see how some other people might not understand all of the plot lines that had been introduced, maybe even in season 1, and how those correlate to what's going on in 2B, because it's been a while. And I feel like that type of structure for a show really does play against it in genres such as this, where there are multiple plot points that are introduced and not necessarily resolved until the next season, or a good chunk of the season has progressed, where, they introduce a character and then they have something happen with that character and they're not even mentioned for the first half of the second season. But then at the end of 2A, it's the very last scene and you're like, oh shit, I forgot that character was even still missing. It's like, yeah, he is. Yep. He was gone. He was kidnapped. You forgot about him. We didn't, thankfully. But it is something that is really hard with these type of shows, especially within the horror genre, or mystery or thriller, psychological thriller. Those genres lend themselves to introducing plot points that, are pretty important, but they don't get resolved initially or quickly. And when you have a year gap between seasons, people tend to forget. But as far as I'm concerned, I watched season 1, and when I knew season 2 was coming out, I rewatched season 1. So they did get more streams from me. So it is kind of smart in that aspect, but not everybody is so willing to re-binge a show. Like when season 3 comes out, I'm most likely going to watch 1 and 2 a couple weeks before it comes out, if it gets renewed. Fingers crossed, I hope it gets renewed. But yeah, it's the problem that we have with the Netflix and Hulu format. But ultimately, I feel like it definitely, it works. It hinders and it works, but you need to make sure that your audience is willing to either rewatch or binge, or you better have a good recap at the beginning. So, whatever. Season 2B, it had some good resolution. It pretty much gave us all the answers of how this game was created, how did the curse happen, how can we break it, what's going on, what's going to happen, what would happen if this chrysalis fully formed and hatched. It answered all those questions. And then what did it do? Gave us like 50,000 more, which that's fine. Now, this is major season 2B spoilers. Please, for the love of God, if you haven't seen it, stop. Just stop, please. Plus, this won't even really make sense, but like, just stop. I have questions. We're just going to go into it. First major question I have is, did the curse actually break? Are these kiddos actually surviving? Like, we get the time jump and they don't have the chrysalis anymore, but did they actually survive? That's my main question. And then, how exactly did Jenny hop into Violet? Like, we see in the mirror, Violet, Jenny, how did that work? And does Violet know that she's overtaken? Is she overtaken completely? Do Violet and Jenny like chit chat? Like, what is what is going on? Like, why does Jenny like play the game? Why does she not just live her life through Violet? Like, she says that that's like her big thing. She wanted to live her life. There was so much that she wanted to do. And like, yeah, we get that. You died at like 16, but why not just live your life through Violet and like share a life with her? Whatever. And then to top that off, how did the group just like let Violet go off to Seattle to that boarding school? Like why were they like, oh, okay, bye. Just bye. Like, what? And okay, also, how did Violet afford that? Because she lived with her nan because her parents died. And that's why she had to go to public school. Well, she like left the private school she was at because of the game too, because everybody she knew died, basically. And then, so like, then we have Perry. How is Perry still alive? Obviously, that's not, like, obviously she played the game. And that's not her death prediction, but like, when did she play the game? Who did she play with? And how is she still alive? Are there multiple games going on? Is there somebody else walking around with a chrysalis? But that doesn't make sense because, like, who? Another thing about Jenny was, how was Jenny passing on the way to break the curse? Was that, like, because that's what McKenna realizes when she's, like, comatose. But, like, that doesn't make sense because Jenny stayed, the curse stayed. But no. Like, and she technically didn't let go because she latched on to Violet. So why did the curse break on them and not kill them? Like, I know I've got a lot of questions here. I understand that. And I know in my heart of hearts, I know that they would answer them in season 3, hopefully, if they get renewed. And that's fine. I still really enjoyed the show. I'm not harping on it. I really thoroughly enjoyed all of season 1, all of season 2. It's so good. It's just, I have so many questions. So many. And I want them answered. I need them answered. I need to understand things. And I guess the only question I'm left with is, so Hulu, when's that season 3 coming out? When's that renewal notice dropping on us? Give it to me. Anyway, if you're still here, which no one probably is, that's fine. You need to watch it. If you don't mind all those spoilers, you probably wouldn't understand them anyway. But go watch it. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you have any answers or any explanations for my questions? Honestly, I'm open to any theory. There's only like 162 members of the Light as a Feather subreddit, and there's like no talking on there. I really need it answered. All my questions, answer them now. Most importantly, when are we getting season 3? That is the biggest question. Also, if you are still here, I'm trying out a new mic setup, so hopefully this sounds great. Hopefully this sounds okay. Hopefully you're not hearing a lot of weird noises and stuff, like my chair. But if you like this video, thumbs it up. If you didn't like it, just click that dislike button twice so that I really fully understand that you didn't like it. So you'll click it once and then you'll be like, yeah, Sunny really needs to know. And you'll click it again. Okay? Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do me the honor of clicking subscribe. It is free and it is also a tax write-off. Who fucking knew, right? You get a tax deduction for subscribing to me. You're welcome. Just use code Sunny10 on your next tax return for 10% off. Ring that bell if you want to get notified. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you are lovely. If you are listening to this on my Anchor profile or on any of the other places that I am currently available on for podcasts, thank you so much. Kisses to you. And I hope you have an amazing day. You've been wonderful. I've been Sunny. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.